We begin with Vice President Kamala Harris, who has locked in a major endorsement for her presidential campaign, former President Barack Obama. In a new campaign video, you can hear him and former First Lady Michelle Obama call Harris to congratulate her and offer to support her campaign.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
And yesterday, Harris met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as he wrapped up his controversial Washington trip. After the meeting, Harris told reporters that while Israel has a right to defend itself, how it does so matters. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is following all of this for us. So, Ed, before we get to that meeting, what else did the Obamas say in this endorsement video released by the campaign? And what can you tell us about timing? Because remember, while many politicians on Sunday were throwing their support behind, we hadn't heard from the Obamas yet.
We hadn't, and it seemed like this one was designed to come at the end of what's been a pretty well-orchestrated week. Coincidentally, she had a schedule that lent itself well to a presidential campaign rollout with stops in Milwaukee and Houston and a meeting yesterday with the Israeli Prime Minister. But now here at the end of a week that's already led to record-setting fundraising for the Democratic Party and her campaign, they're likely going to see another round of it through the end of today into the weekend as the Obama message spreads. And they made clear they'll do everything they can to help her. I also noticed earlier several of her aides have been posting archival photos of Harris volunteering and showing up for Obama campaign events back as early as 2007 as he was preparing for his campaign. There's a shot of her, for example, in an Iowa caucus campaign office volunteering with other young people. So it's a reminder of the coalition that he built and that she, in essence, is a veteran of, and one that she now hopes to inherit as the Democratic nominee in the coming weeks.
Yeah, remind us, if you could, of the relationship between Harris and the Obamas. And do you expect the Obamas to campaign for Harris in the coming weeks and months?
Oh, we most absolutely do, and they made clear in the video that they will. She hinted at it as well. She was the San Francisco district attorney. He was an Illinois state senator turned senator who was running back in 2007 or so, roughly around the time that they at least today are acknowledging their relationship. But they knew each other even before then because they ran in similar black professional and political circles and legal circles, for that matter. So, you know, it's a relationship that's continued ever since, and obviously one that's continued in recent years as she served as vice president. It's not like they're best friends or anything like that, but they certainly are, you know, colleagues and people who've spent time together both publicly and privately and have a lot in common, obviously, as some of the better-known American political figures of our time. So we will see how exactly they're deployed in the coming weeks and days. There isn't much time, but obviously trying to tap the energy that the Obamas can generate among Democratic base voters is something Harris is going to need to do, both in fundraising and in advertising and ultimately on the road, as she is promising to be on the road pretty aggressively between now and Election Day.
So let's get to Harris's meeting with Netanyahu yesterday. What can you tell us about her remarks as well as what the substance of the meeting was?
That she made them at all, Lindsay, is notable because the president did not after his meeting with the Israeli prime minister. The president, in essence, deferring to his vice president, allowing her to take the lead in publicly speaking after their meetings. She made clear, like the president, that she supports a two-state solution between Israel and what would be the state of Palestine, arguing that the two need to exist peacefully alongside each other. That's in keeping with the Biden administration policy. She also raised concerns about the plight of those living in Gaza especially, and that is something she's done since the beginning of this war last October, was one to make sure that the president was making better and more explicit reference to that situation in the early months. So notable that they held the meeting, again, part of a just coincidental set of things on the schedule that her office kept this week that demonstrated what she would be like on the world stage dealing with foreign contemporaries, what she would be doing out on the road as a campaigner, meeting with labor unions, and it continues through the weekend with a series of campaign events as well, a fundraiser and a virtual appearance at a young voter rally. And then next week, we know now she's going to Georgia. So all of it designed to demonstrate pretty quickly to skeptical voters and to Democrats that she's someone who could serve as president.
Another important state, Georgia. Ed O'Keefe, thank you.